Hello everyone, welcome to EduJam. Today we are going to study contract law. These types of laws are asked in law entrance examination like CLAT, IELTS, BHU, etc. In CLAT, there is a passage given and you have to answer the questions based on the passage. But for that also you have to be familiar with the words of the law. Okay, and in IELTS and BHU there is a direct question from the law. Okay, like that they will ask what is article 370, what is article 61, in which article the review power of the judiciary is given, etc. So let's understand what is this contract law. So let's get started. First of all, I am giving you a preview of all the things that we are going to study today. First, we are going to study promise. What is this promise? After that, we'll understand what is an agreement, then a contract, then what are the conditions for an agreement that it becomes a contract, then what is meant by acceptance, consideration, who can make contract, that is the capacity to contract, what is free consent, coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation and mistake. Okay, so first of all we'll understand what is promise. Okay, so let's understand what is this promise. So what is promise? A promise is defined as an accepted proposal. Okay, what is this promise? Promise is a accepted proposal, and section 2B of Indian Contract Act 1872 talks about promise. Okay, simple. What is a promise? Whatever is being proposed to you or whatever you are proposing to someone is accepted, then it is called a promise. Suppose I made a promise to my brother that I will give him a chocolate. Okay, this is a promise which I made to my brother. Okay, simply a promise is an accepted proposal, and section 2B of Indian Contract Act 1872 defines promise. Okay, simple, nothing else. Okay, let's understand the second concept, which is agreement. Okay, what is this agreement? Every promise and every set of promises, every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other is called an agreement. Okay, what is the agreement? What is an agreement? Every promise and a set of promise. Right now we understood what is a promise. A promise is an accepted proposal. So whatever is an accepted proposal means what I propose to is accepted. That promise or a set of promises forming the consideration, where there is consideration. What is this consideration? Consideration is the amount. We'll understand it later in detail. What is this consideration? Let's understand simply what is this consideration. Consideration is the amount. Okay, suppose I ordered a TV from Amazon for 40,000. Okay, so they made a promise to me, the Amazon company made a promise to me that they will give me a TV, then I'll pay them 40,000 rupees. Then this 40,000 rupees is the consideration. Okay, and with this promise is called the agreement. And what is this consideration? Consideration is that amount. Okay, like 40,000 rupees. Okay, section 2E of Indian Contract Act 1872 talks about agreement. Okay, let's understand what is contract. Okay, simply, a contract is a legally enforceable agreement. A contract is a legally enforceable agreement between two or more parties with mutual obligations. Okay, so a contract is a legally enforceable agreement between two or more parties with mutual obligation, mutual understanding, mutual acceptance. ठीक है, mutual assent. Okay, the Indian Contract Act 1872 section 2H of Indian Contract Act 1872 defines contract. Okay, defines contract. Simply, we understood till now what is a promise, what is an agreement, and what is a contract. A promise is defined as an accepted proposal. Okay. Secondly, agreement is every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other. And thirdly, a contract is a legally enforceable agreement between two or more parties with mutual obligations. ठीक है, so without understanding promise and agreement, we cannot understand what is contract. Okay, and section 2H of Indian Contract Act 1872 defines contract. Okay, let's see what is this acceptance. Acceptance, what is this acceptance? Section 2B of Indian Contract Act 1872 defines acceptance. Okay, section 2B of Indian Contract Act defines acceptance. Yes, acceptance is nothing else but the promise. Okay, acceptance is nothing else but the promise. Hence, section 2B defines promise, section 2B defines acceptance. So let's see what is this acceptance. When the person whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereof, the proposal is said to be accepted. Okay, when a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent or give his assent or agrees to the proposal, then the proposal is said to be accepted, and then we assume that the whatever proposal we made to the person has accepted the proposal. Okay, so we are now understood what is promise, what is agreement, what is contract, and what is acceptance. We missed one thing in between, that is the condition for an agreement to be a contract. Okay, let's understand what are the conditions for an agreement to become a contract. Number one is consideration. Consideration. Number 2, competent to contract. Means the parties should be number 1 is the consideration, number 2 is the competent to contract, means the party should be competent to contract. Number 3 is free consent. Number 4, lawful object. Lawful object. Number 5, there should be offer and acceptance. Okay. Number 6, clear terms of contract. Number 7 is agreement must be capable of performance. Okay, so these are the things which we need to keep in mind while understanding what is these things. Okay, so first of all, it is the let me make it clear for you people. Okay, number 1 is the consideration, means there must be some consideration, there must be some amount. Second thing, the parties must be competent to contract. Must means the parties must be able to contract, means the person should be 18 plus. Both the parties, the persons who are entering into contract must be 18 plus. They must be of sound mind. They must not be disqualified by the law and must not be an alien enemy. Okay, these are the 4 criteria which are needed before performing a contract. Number 4 or 3 is free consent, means the party should not be forced, or the individual should not be forced to enter into a contract. He himself must be willing to enter into that contract. Okay. Fourth thing, the object should be lawful object, means the contract should be made on legal things. Like, for example, if I am dealing with a drug seller, that I'll supply you 10 packets of drugs. Okay, can I make this, can we call this a contract? No. Can we call this agreement on a contract? No. Why? Because the object which I am providing with that drug is unlawful, it is not legal. That's why this contract is void. This agreement cannot become a contract. Okay. Fifth, offer and acceptance. There must be an offer and there must be acceptance. It should not be like that कि हम ऑफर किए उसको कि मैं आपको 10 किलो चावल बेचूंगी, लेकिन वो सामने वाला एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं कर रहा है कि मुझे उससे 10 किलो चावल चाहिए 25,000 रुपए में. So we cannot say it's an contract. Okay, until and unless there is offer and acceptance both, then only we can say it's a contract. Number 6, clear terms of contract. The terms of contract must be made clear to the person who is accepting the contract. Okay. Then 7th number, agreement must be capable of performance. The agreement which is agreed upon, the thing which is agreed upon between the two parties must be capable of performance. ऐसा कोई चीज़ हमें नहीं लेना है जो कि परफॉर्म किया ही नहीं जा सकता, जिसको करना संभव नहीं है. ऐसी चीजें लेना है जो कि किया जा सके. ओके, सो these are the 7 conditions which are necessary for an agreement to become a contract. Okay, now I told you already what is this acceptance. When a proposal is accepted, then it is called acceptance. Okay, whenever a proposal is accepted, it is called acceptance. Okay, simple. Now, what is this consideration? This consideration is the very foundation. Consideration is the very foundation of the contract. Without consideration, we cannot do contract. Okay. Second thing, let's take an example. Let's say if A makes an agreement to sell his laptop to B for rupees 10,000, then the amount 10,000 is the consideration for A's promise to sell his laptop. Okay, did you understand that? What is it? If somebody A is making an agreement to sell his laptop to B for 10,000 rupees, then 10,000 rupees is the consideration for, it is the amount for A's promise to sell his laptop. Okay, so you understand what is this consideration. Consideration is nothing but the amount. Okay, so let's see what is this capacity to contract. Who can contract? Capacity to contract. Capacity to contract. So, number one, minor person cannot contract. Okay, minor person cannot contract. What is mean by minor person? A person below the age of 18 is called minor person. So a person below the age of 18 cannot enter into a contract. He cannot make a contract. An agreement made by a minor person is absolutely void. It is not considered legal. Okay. Okay. Second thing is unsound mind. Cannot enter into contract. A person is said to be of sound mind for the purpose of making a contract if at the time when he makes it, he is capable of understanding it and of performing a rational judgment as to its effect upon his interest. Okay, a person, unsound mind means one who is not able to understand the things, means lunatic. Okay, insane. Okay, persons of unsound mind cannot enter into a contract. When the person is making the contract, he must be of sound mind, means he must be able to understand the terms of the contract. He must be able to form a rational judgment so as to its effect upon his interest. Okay, let's consider a situation when a person who is usually of unsound mind but occasionally of sound mind may make a contract when he is of sound mind. Means, let's understand it clearly. A person who is of unsound mind, who is generally of unsound mind, means a person who is lunatic. Okay, generally lunatic, generally insane, but at some times he is of sound mind, he understands things, then the person can make contract. Yes, the person can make contract, but only when he is of sound mind. Yes, that lunatic person, who is generally lunatic, can make a contract, can enter into a contract when he is of sound mind. Then only he can enter into a contract. Okay, having unsound mind, he cannot enter into a contract, but generally having an unsound mind but occasionally having sound mind can enter into a contract when of sound mind. Okay. Okay, the second thing, third thing is disqualified person. Disqualified person. Okay, who are these disqualified persons? Let's understand. These disqualified persons are alien enemies, okay, foreign sovereigns, okay, convicts, etc. These persons are disqualified from making a contract. These persons cannot make contract. Okay, simply. I hope few people are clear with it. If you people are not clear with it, then do comment. I will surely try to make your doubts clear as soon as possible. Okay. Now let's understand what is this free consent. Free consent. What is this consent? Let's understand this section 13 of Indian Contract Act 1872 defines consent. Okay, it defines consent. Okay, what is consent? Two or more persons are said to consent when they agree upon the same thing in the same sense. Okay, when what is this free consent? When a person is free, he is not forced to make the consent. He willingly wants to make that consent. Okay, so when two or more persons are said to consent, कब कहे जाते हैं two or more person that they are ready to it, they are agreeing to it, when they agree upon the same thing. They agree upon the same thing in the same sense. Like I have given you the example of A selling his laptop to B for 10,000 rupees. Means both A and B agrees to um, the contract in the same sense. Okay, for the same thing. That B agrees for the laptop, A agrees for 10,000 rupees, B agrees for the laptop and A agrees for 10,000 rupees in a same sense. Means the both are not making different sense out of that contract. Okay, both are understanding same thing for that contract. Okay, ऐसा नहीं कि कोई कुछ सोच ले रहा है कोई कुछ सोच ले रहा है, दोनों एक ही चीज सोच रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं और then they are agreeing to it. Okay, when a consent is said to be free. When can a consent be said to be free? Free consent. Free consent. And let's understand when a consent can be free. When there is no coercion. When there is no coercion, no influence, no fraud, no misrepresentation, no mistake. Okay, then only we can say a free consent can be made when it is not caused by coercion, under influence, fraud, misrepresentation and mistake. Okay, we'll understand all these terms one by one. First, let's understand what is this free consent and under what conditions a consent can be said to be free. This free consent is when both the parties are agreeing willingly upon the same thing in the same sense. Okay, this is called free consent. And when a consent is said to be free, when it is not made forcibly, when it is not made by coercion, when it is not made by under influence, by fraud, misrepresentation, by mistake, etc., then only it is said to be a free consent. Okay, let's understand what is this coercion. An agreement to which the consent is obtained by coercion is voidable. Okay. An agreement to which the consent is caused by coercion, forcibly, then it is a void agreement. Okay. When can we say a consent is caused by coercion? Under following conditions, consent is said to be caused by coercion. What are these conditions? Let's understand. Consent under coercion. Okay. So what are these conditions? Committing or threatening to commit any act forbidden by the Indian Penal Code. An agreement to which a consent is obtained by coercion is always voidable. And under what conditions we can say a consent is obtained under coercion? When a consent is taken by committing or threatening to commit an act forbidden by the Indian Penal Code is called a consent by coercion. Okay. Means the person is threatening another person to accept to give his consent to the agreement, to give his consent to the agreement by threatening him by the means of murdering or thievery or hurting, etc., which is forbidden by the Indian Penal Code. The acts which are forbidden, which should not be done, or which are prohibited by the Indian Penal Code, the person is threatening in the name of that act another person to accept that proposal or accept that agreement, then it is called a consent by coercion. Means the person is forcing another person to accept that agreement. Okay. Then only we say that the consent is obtained by coercion. Okay. Now the second one is under influence. So what is this under influence? When the relation subsisting between the parties are such that one of the parties is in a position to dominate the will of another and uses that position. When one party is in a position to dominate the will of the another and uses that position to obtain an unfair advantage over the other, then it is said to be under influence. When two parties are in a relationship, in such a relationship where one party dominates another party and takes unfair advantage of that domination, then it is said that the person or the party has given consent. Okay, I hope you have understood that when one party dominates another party and takes advantage of that domination and force that party to agree to the agreement, okay, then it is said to be under influence, that the consent is obtained under influence. Okay, for example, upper caste landlord is dominating a lower caste farmer, and he says that if you will give all your land to me, then only I will waive your loans. Okay, but the loans are very much in amount, very less in amount as compared to that of the value of that land. Okay, so under domination from upper caste, the poor farmer will agree to that proposal, to that agreement. Okay, so this is called under influence. Okay, so let's understand our next hot topic, which is fraud. What is this fraud? Let's understand fraud. Fraud Let's simply understand, an agreement to which the consent is caused by fraud is voidable. It's very simple, like under influence, fraud, coercion, mistake, misrepresentation, all under the consent obtained under these criteria are void. Okay, so these are not legal. Okay, these cannot form contract. So what does fraud means? Fraud means and includes any of the following acts. What are those acts? Let's understand. The suggestion that a fact is true when it is not true, and the person making the suggestion does not believe it to be true. When we consider a thing to be fraud, कब हम किसी चीज को फ्रॉड बोलते हैं? जब जो आदमी जो कह रहा है कि ये फैक्ट सही है, नहीं मतलब ये सही है, वो पर वो खुद मान रहा है कि वो चीज सही नहीं है, ठीक है, वो दूसरे को तो कह रहा है कि ये चीज सही है बट उसको खुद पता है कि ये सही नहीं है, तो ऐसे केसेस में फ्रॉड होता है, ठीक है। ये पहला कंडीशन है जिसको हम लोग कहेंगे कि ये फ्रॉड का कंडीशन है। सेकेंड वन इज active concealment of a fact by a person, means the person is hiding the truth from another person to whom the contract is being made, to whom from whom the consent is to be obtained, ठीक है, उससे झूठ बोला जा रहा है, उसको फैक्ट बातें नहीं बताई जा रही हैं, उससे फैक्ट छुपाया जा रहा है। ओके, द थर्ड थिंग इज promise made without an intention of performing, means a person had promised to another person that he will do this, that, these, those, all, ठीक है, but he is in his mind he knows that he is not going to perform that promise. Okay, means वो agree तो कर रहा है उस वक्त कि नहीं, जैसे डील हो रही है कि मैं आपको 2 ट्रक बालू पहुंचाऊंगी, बट मैं मन में जान रही हूँ कि मुझे ये डील एक्सेप्ट नहीं करनी है, मैं ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं करूँगी, मैं पैसे भी लूँगी, मैं सब कुछ करूँगी, बट मैं अपना प्रॉमिस मतलब कि मैं वो 2 ट्रक बालू नहीं पहुंचाऊंगी, ठीक है। देन फोर्थ वन, any act or omission as the law specially declares to be fraudulent, means any other act or any other thing which the law consider to be fraud is considered comes under fraud. Okay, this is fraud. Okay, now let's come to misrepresentation. What is this misrepresentation? Let's understand what is this misrepresentation. What is misrepresentation? It means misstatement of a fact material to the contract. Okay, let's understand it by an example. When a person makes a false statement which he himself believes to be true and he does not intend to deceive the other party, then there is misrepresentation. Misrepresentation is just the opposite of fraud.